heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, we had quite a bit of things happen. There was actually Bakugo and Izuku. The two, they found each other in prison. And Bakugo, he was alarmed to discover his friend. For him, almost 2.5 years passed. However, for Izuku, 30 years have passed. And Bakugo, whenever he saw his friend, saw the way he was reacting to him and his mannerisms, he knew immediately what happened. Deku spent a lot of time in one world, and the way he was acting, he's clearly distressed, grieving, but he doesn't know what he's grieving. He remembers whenever his eyes used to look hollow. However, whenever he found them, he went back to normal. I mean, he still does have some, well, shit mentally about it, but he got over it. With time, he began to get a lot more social, comfortable with his best friend. However, Izuku, the look on his face was worse. Deku, he lost something very important. And Bakugo, he doesn't know what it is. And that actually was with Izumi. Izumi tried to talk to Katsuki. However, Katsuki, whenever she finally did speak to Izumi, she told her very plainly, she is not going to be dealing with her. If she tries to speak to her again, she will fucking kick her ass. And Izumi, she was quite alarmed. However, then she was thrown into solitary confinement because of a riot that got broken out. And she also encountered, as many like to call him or know him as, Deku Pool, or Deadpool Deku. Now, he talked to Izumi, and she was quite alarmed by the object he gave her. He gave her his magic satchel, or as I'll just be calling it, the inventory bag. Now, he explained quite a lot to Izumi, and it was very surprising to her. Within this satchel, or bag as we'll be calling it, because it's actually a satchel as it turns out, and I didn't realize that, within this bag, quite a lot can be pulled. If she can imagine it or think about it, it can be pulled out of this bag. Anywhere from godlike weapons, godlike power, entities that can help you, or something as just simple as a food. Or what? You know, something you just want. And Izumi, she used the bag to create a horror creature. One that she knew from a video game. Now, if anyone is curious, it's basically just a dead space monster. And she and Bakugo broke out of prison. Now, their actually is over with Izuku. About the same day. Deku, he's sitting down. And he actually is eating. And a few people, they have noticed that Izuku, he's been quiet. I mean, the guy, he just stays to himself. And today, there actually is somebody does decide to try and mess with him. Since Deku, he's a big guy. And someone thinks that if they can just knock him around, then they'll be alright. Especially because they need to be able to survive here in prison. And knocking on a pretty big guy, that'll be a sure way to tell anybody not to mess with you. And we do actually have where the guy does walk up. Him directly going to grab Izuku's tray and force it upwards and into his face. As Deku, he does go to somewhat fall backwards, smashing into the person behind him. Before, he does go to slump down towards the ground. And the person, they do go to try and attack Izuku. Now, Bakugo, he would go to see that. And their actions where he does go to jump up and try to help his best friend. And a lot of people, they are watching this. The guy is trying to throw punches downwards into Izuku. However, Izuku, he does go to directly grab the guy and throw him as hard as he can over his shoulder. the guy being flung directly over and into another table, him smashing into it and hitting it with the side. As whenever Deku does get back up to his feet, he does go stomp over, grabbing the guy by his face and smashing his head into the end of the table, before guards start to try and pull him away. And Deku, he does cause quite a bit of commotion. Whenever a guard tries to attack Izuku, their actions where Deku, he does go to turn and punch the man directly into the face, as another man does go to try and hold up a shotgun, telling Izuku to just stop. Now, Deku, he does stand there, and there actually is where the man, he does look right at him, telling him not to move or he'll shoot. And Deku, he does slowly start to bring his hands up. And whenever he does so, the action is where he does get to grab the barrel of the gun, and the man's hands, they are shaking. And Deku, he does get to put his forehead to it. You might as well. Alright? You want to know what I've done? What I've been through? I can tell you. But I think it would just be easier for you to pull the fucking trigger. Look me in the eyes when you do it. It's not easy killing a man, especially when you don't know his name. Now, are you going to pull the trigger or not? And there actually are a few men who come walking up. A few of them, they're a bit more concerned. And there actually is Bakugo, who he does want to take a step forwards. And a lot would start to happen. A few people do step in to restrain Izuku. And Bakugo, while he is seen as somebody in particular who was not a part of this incident, he was looked at. He was going to get himself involved, but he didn't. He stayed on the sidelines, and a lot of people were just confused. And there actually is Izuku, who he was put into solitary confinement and given the same story by Deadpool Deku. The man explained to him whenever he appeared that he can pull anything he wants out of this bag. And, quite simply, all he has to do is think about what's in his imagination. So I can get my son back? No. No. He wouldn't allow that. Why not? I don't know. Listen, man. I'm gonna go. I have an appointment to tend to, so I'll just be going. So what should I pull out of here? Dude, you can pull a minigun out of there for Christ's sakes. I don't care. I mean, I can give you a few recommendations. I've seen a lot from traveling the multiverse. You have? Oh yeah. Hang on. Let me just... Deku reaching down inside, and talking about how he does need to give him a minute, since this item, he's pretty sure it might fit him very well. And the man outside Deku's cell, he does start to hear a few things from inside. Deku, he starts to scream out in pain. And then there is the fact that he just goes silent. That, it was confusing and concerning. And there actually was whenever the door, whenever they started to look at it, it started to smell strange. I mean, that smells like straight up hot metal. I mean, it's bad. And it does somewhat concern them. Before the door was melted through, and the man that stepped out, he had a flaming skull. Now, there actually was where the guard did go to look directly towards Izuku, looking directly at a skeleton man, in a prison jumpsuit. Okay, this is happening today. Now, the prison immediately got in trouble with a lot of things. Because Deku started to start trouble, alarms were set off, security measures were tripped, and the prison was put on lockdown. And a lot of people were confused. However, we actually do have Deku, who, while he is walking through, he is pulling out quite a few things. Before, he does get to pull something out and look directly at it, thinking that might do the trick. However, he does get to put that back down inside the bag, and they're going to reach around, him looking inside to see what he might want. Something that would be good for Bakugo. Okay, this might work. Now, there actually is whenever Deku does get to Bakugo's cell. And Bakugo, he does see him. Deku turning and grabbing the direct door, ripping it off its hinges and Drucky out. Before going to Drucky, throw a playing card at Bakugo, it striking him in the chest as he's going to somewhat fall into the wall and going to somewhat slump backwards. Him going to reach down and find the card, it's gone. What the hell is going on? How about you try and test it? I don't know too much about it, but that card, the abilities I read, it should be real nice. What are you talking about? You got an explosion quirk again. Just think about it. Besides, just supercharge and toss. That's all you need to know. Now, Bakugo, he is surprised. Drucky going to turn around and grab the wall. Where the wall does start to glow, it does Drucky go to explode. And Bakugo, he is thrown backwards into Deku. As they're actually, so the two, they do go to look outside. And Deku, he needs to find out what to do. Okay, him grabbing onto Bakugo and jumping outside. Him smashing onto the ground before going to Drucky reach down into the bag, thinking about what they might be able to use. And there actually are some people who come running up to try and grab and stop these two. And Deku, he does find something very intriguing. Him pulling it out and going to Drucky, grab and slap something down onto his chest. As whenever he does get to turn around, he does get Drucky slap something onto Bakugo's. And Bakugo, he's surprised, as Deku's prison uniform starts to turn into something strange. It shapes into a super suit? Okay, so what the hell did I get? Him looking down and seeing another S. Oh, come on, this is stupid. Now, the men who are staying there, they do try to inform these two that whatever the hell they are, they need to stop and put their hands up in the air. And Deku, he does get to look around. Before, he does get to focus his eyes, and they do start to glow with energy. Before Deku, he does start to massacre the men in front of him. And Bakugo, he does look on shocked. As the two, they do get to fly away. And Bakugo, he feels off. Or at least disturbed by what he just saw. Him and Deku do go to fly away. However, there's another issue. Fact is, Izuku just killed those men. And right now, they've been given access to an item that's entirely beyond what this world can handle. So they need to discover what to do. Calm down and regroup. And right now, that is the issue. Bakugo and Deku, they're trying to find Izumi and Katsuki. However, the noise they're hearing, trying to focus on who's who and what's going on, it doesn't feel right. However, there actually is Izuku, who he does get to pull something out and try to attempt something. And we actually have over on their end, where Katsuki, she actually is surprised. Whenever she's going to pull a few things out and look at the objects. They're almost like coins, but in different shapes and sizes. I mean, that's what she's seeing. There was a playing card and a few other things, but they're not here. I mean, these things have strange engravings on them. That's for damn sure. So whatever this is, it's clearly a power of some sorts. That being what she does think. As Izumi, she actually is going to ask if maybe she can have her telepathy back. And Katsuki does go to look inside, trying to find something that might be good. Sense? Maybe there's something in here for Katsuki, or Izumi, not Katsuki. Now, Katsuki does find something and hand it over to Izumi. And the moment she's going to hand it over, Izumi, she's just going to feel it dissolve in her hands. Before we're going to look around and try to focus. Now, the four would eventually meet up, since they basically do just try to go through the motions of experimenting with the bag and trying to see what they can and can use. It takes probably about less than a day, and whenever the four do meet, Bakugo and Izumi do go to run up to each other, them running into an embrace and going to kiss. And at this point, the other two, they don't really care. Whenever they do go to walk up and see each other, there actually is Katsuki. She looks directly up towards Izuku, who he does still have his flaming skull. And she does ask him if that is a neat trick. Could be. It's so weird to look at. I know. So they're together now. Yep. Looks like it. Now, the four, they do try to discuss it. What are they going to do now? I don't know. Go on the run? I mean, no one can touch us. The way we are now. We're gods. Now, Bakugo, he does hear that. He's a god. Okay, red fucking flag. Okay, Izuku, just power down. No. Okay, power down, Izuku. Listen, we need to talk. You guys spent a long time in the other reality, right? Yeah, speaking of realities, we all need to have a chat. I mean, I didn't have a chance to talk about it, but it's gonna be disturbing to hear. Really. Deku having his skull return back to normal. However it does so, Izumi does stare directly at Izuku. It takes her back for a second. The same expression on his face. Okay. This is not good. Maybe, for right now, they need to just not tell them. Okay. She'll have to tell Bakugo, though. That would be a good idea. Right. He seems to be the best mentally. At least, other than her. Alright, so these two, they need time to heal before they learn that their realities have ended. And right now, it is concerning. And we do actually have up and outside the story, where a few of the other Dekus, they're watching this. And one finally does get to someone step up. And he does directly walk up to Reality Bender, asking him, what the hell is he doing? What am I doing? Are you serious? You're going into this direction? I can't believe you. What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. I can already tell what she has. I've seen it before. I can't believe it. You really gave her that. That world will not survive it. Especially if he has his powers. I know. I do not expect that world to survive. In fact, I expect it to be torn apart, molecule by molecule, atom by atom. And whenever that does happen, these four, I will have a chat with them once again. And maybe then they'll begin to start understanding things. Understanding things. Do you even hear yourself? I mean, seriously. What you're saying is crazy. Now, Reality Bender, we're going to look directly towards Marvel Deku, as I'll just call him. And he does start directly at him. I do have to say, I'm going to stand up and turning. Isn't it quite intriguing by what you're talking about? You had powers very much similar to her own. In fact, you encountered that beast yourself. So, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do? Especially with my own creations. Or are you forgetting? You are my creation as well. Him bringing his hand up. And Marvel Deku, he does feel something odd. Before, he's standing in the middle of a mansion, and he's on his hands and knees. He feels weak. Him collapsing onto the ground. And his body, it doesn't feel right. He feels sweaty, tired. He feels drained of everything. And mentally, all he can do is just lay here. Doing anything else feels overwhelming. Now, he does just lay there for a second, before he is going to jump back to the current moment, and going to directly look towards Reality Bender. What was that? Wouldn't you like to know? I took back my gift, making you what you are. Now, are you going to try and dispute me again? Or will you allow me to continue? Questioning me isn't exactly an option for you. You understand that. I do. However, there are times whenever your cruelty, it needs to be stopped. My cruelty. Didn't your people face a lot of cruelty in your timeline? And what did it do to you? It messed me up. It also made you stronger. There's a difference. No, there is not. These four are partaking in my experiment. And exactly what might that experiment be? I will not share that information. Because I am well aware that they already might know I'm onto them. Really? So what are you saying? You're saying you're going after whoever's watching us? I am not saying that at all. I'm saying that I am simply trying to cast a line. And I will wait for something to bite onto that line. What are you doing? What am I doing? I am doing what is necessary. For who? You know the answer to that question. For me and for them. They will be rewarded. I already know that much. However, you do appear to keep questioning me. For good reasons. Besides, whatever you're doing now, giving them these powers, do you know how dangerous that thing is? Those two bags, they could literally spell the end for some of us. I am aware of that, but they do not have access to those type of powers. Yet, no, they have access to those powers. You made well sure of that. You've already given out 2 of them. No, I have not. I will inform them of much. However, they know their limits. I have made sure of that. So they aren't in control. They are. They just won't look at the good items. Sure they won't. Fine. But if they start to meddle in my history, any of our history, we will interfere. That is quite adequate and understanding. However, I will just make them alternate universes. Really? Yes. I have already made one for him over there. Him looking over to somebody. Before, well, Marvel Deku, he does this good rookie look over and see, well, Hacker Deku. What are you talking about? Do not worry. Maybe soon enough. Maybe someday. Okay, enough of your cryptic shit. I'm leaving. I'm going back home. I can't deal to see this. Alright, that is fine. As for the rest of you, are you ready to see what happens whenever children are allowed to play with better toys than the ones they have? Because some will get greedy, some will get envious, and some will get violent. Now, it is confusing to them. Now, for Reality Bender, he does just stare down. The four, they're literally looking as far and wide as they can into every single type of power. If it can be thought of, they can make it. And right now, it is intriguing to them. Since Bakugo, she may have given her something that she didn't mean to. And it is very intriguing to say the least. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.